Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, the comedy history podcast. I'm Brian Rupert, joined here by
Stephen Badagliaco.
and
Ancelotti. Hi.
hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We just finished our next three movies. Well, the last three movies, I guess I'm saying the right thing. And we're going to pick now the next three movies we're going to watch. And when we do these episodes, we try to have a little fun, talk about some things in history that we may not get to cover in movies. These are more fun episodes, and at the end, we're going to pick the next things we get to watch.
Yeah, an event or a person.
Which, peek behind the curtain, this was my original concept before the show, right? Before Anthony decided movies.
Yeah. I guess I'm the bad guy.
No. I don't think you're the bad guy at all. I like the movie idea. I think it's better. And I actually like that we combined the two.
Oh, I think it worked out well. I like breaking it up like this. It breaks up the monotony.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's another movie, another week.
Right.
It's like you get a little taste, you know? Maybe you like us talking freer a little more. You know, you get one of those a month. You know, I have to say, we do have an email address now. Okay, so if you would like to email us, the email you could reach us at is reviewinghistorypod@gmail.com. So again, that's reviewinghistorypod@gmail.com. And send us an email. Tell us what you think. Maybe you like a format, prefer a format. Maybe you hate Steve. You want us to kick him off the show. You don't think he's worthy. He's not funny. He doesn't belong. You know, if you have like any thoughts like that, just let us know.
Yeah.
What's that again? I have something I have to write.
That's reviewinghistorypod@gmail.com.
I'm going to log in and just see hate mail from you two.
It's our personal emails,
Directly from
like
you.
Brian.Rupert at,
Undisguised.
You actually sign it with your real names.
So,
what's new, fellas?
yeah, anything new with you guys before we dive in? How's life?
Steve?
He's having a stroke.
Life's good. Life's good. My cat's having surgery soon.
Oh, no.
That's sad.
Her second surgery. She has cancer. So maybe I'll
I feel like
have
I'm
to
in
get
the
new
Debbie
animals.
Downer sketch.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the only thing that's new.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow. I met a
You
girl who
asked.
sang the blues.
You asked.
I asked her for some happy news. And she just smiled and turned away.
You're getting ready to get married. Any cool wedding stories?
Is there such a thing as a cool wedding story?
I had a cool wedding.
Oh, you did have a cool wedding.
Yeah, but did you have a cool wedding setup story? Like, was it a lot of fun signing
I
paperwork?
had fun planning the wedding because I was like, I'm doing ridiculous shit.
Yeah, you went a little over the top. Brian had the Devil's mascot at his wedding with a T-shirt cannon.
Shattered glass all over our dinner.
Yeah,
None of us got to eat.
right.
I love the nickname you guys were giving me.
I was calling you the Sun King because Brian really pulled out all the stops. It was like Versailles. He's fucking Louis the 14th. Just has it all. The Hall of Mirrors.
Would you have been surprised if he walked out in like really tall, thick shoes, like stiletto-style shoes?
Why would he do that? Is he a
Well, it's
transsexual?
like, didn't the king
It was
wear,
actually my coming out.
Didn't the king wear like platform shoes?
Maybe. I don't know.
That was in the 70s.
Yeah, he's Kiss.
I did sing Kiss. I got to sing Rock and Roll.
That's
All
right.
Night.
Brian did karaoke at his own wedding. It really was a good party.
Yeah, Pat played the drums.
Yeah. Ziggy played guitar.
Ziggy Stardust?
Yeah.
Anyway, so
So nothing really new in any of our personal lives.
Not really. Nothing worth discussing.
Yeah, nothing fun. I did see a good movie. I recommend. It's a non-history movie. Studio
We
6.
don't talk about those. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'll just shut up.
technically this is about history. Everything's about history because everything's in the past. So
We're
Fuck
merely passing through history. This movie is history. If I bury you in the desert, maybe even you'll be worth something one day.
What is that from? I don't know.
Indiana Jones is from Raiders.
Ah,
I'm doing
I shoulda-
Belloc lines.
I should have caught that.
So you were saying Studio 666.
Studio 666.
That was
The
a good movie.
Was that the Foo Fighters?
Foo Fighters horror movie was fucking fantastic.
Really?
Shockingly. Now, they're not actors, and it's clear, but it's the vibe that, like, I get like it. I got the same vibe I did like when we made movies together, like little shorts, and it's clear it's a bunch of friends like just having fun.
Yeah.
They had way more production value.
Oh,
than that,
of
though.
course.
Yeah, and tying me up with fucking a gag and put me in a trunk.
Not that movie.
Yeah, you made it sound like a different movie. You led with the gag.
Well, that's what it was.
I know. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, a lot of fun, gory as fuck. If you like horror movies, go check it out. Like, you don't even have to be a Foo Fighters fan.
Yeah.
I think there's like only 2 like specific Foo Fighters jokes in the movie.
Yes, very good comedy horror.
How does it stack up to the great Phantom of the Park?
This is an actual movie. They don't just swap Dave Grohl out with like a black stuntman at one point to do kung fu like they did with Ace.
Although that would be really funny.
Yeah.
What are some of the best band movies? You like Hard Day's Night?
I show Hard Day's Night to my class every year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The reason
I guess you do like it.
I do like the movie. I think it gives them a taste of like kind of what Beatlemania was, because it's hard to explain it to these kids because everything in culture now is so like split up and like
Nothing's mass.
it's all niche. You know,
Right.
you'll never have something like the Beatles again where it's fucking everybody and it lasts for 50, 60 years, you know?
right.
That's not going to happen again. So I show it to them and I try to be contemporary. I'm like, okay, you like guys know how BTS has a bunch of rabid fans. I'm like, picture that times a million. And like, this is Hard Day's Night. It's a fictionalized event, a fictionalized movie of kind of a day in the life of the band, you know. And I show it to them and we talk
I've
about
never
it.
seen it.
Me neither.
Oh, it's really good.
And what's the other one they did with like Indian cultists trying to kidnap Ringo?
Oh, that's Help.
Help.
I can't show that because there's like
way better.
there's like racial stereotypes and stuff, so I stay
wanna
away
watch
from
that
that one. That one is more fun.
Would you count?
You've seen it?
I've seen parts. It's like more comedic and goofy. It's campy.
Would you count like The Wall as a band movie?
Absolutely.
What about Spice World?
Yeah,
Spice World,
World
sure.
is a band movie.
The Who had 2 of them, Quadrophenia and Tommy.
I never saw Quadrophenia.
Me neither. I saw Tommy though. It's terrible.
Spice World was good.
I saw Brave. Remember Brave, Marillion?
I forgot Marillion did one because that's barely a movie.
It's so not good.
It's more like a collection of music videos.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put
The
it.
Foo Fighters are probably the last band we're ever going to see in our lifetime able to do something like this.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
The next,
They're like the last rock band.
yeah, if we're talking like bands that could still do
Chili
something like
Peppers.
that,
Who
No,
I,
they're not-
who-
they
but
don't
they're
do
also
as-
older than the Foo Fighters.
yeah.
Chili Peppers also never was very theatrical. Where Foo
What are
Fighters,
you
like
talking about? They walk around with fucking socks on their cocks.
when I
That's theater to
theatrical
Ant.
is
He's
yeah.
like, this is like Equitus.
If,
Is that
It's
the
it's Equus.
Equus, fuck.
and fucking Daniel Radcliffe took his dick out. Why can't Flea?
He's like, I just want to see the flea dick.
Oh, I meant like a lot of their music videos were movie style, right?
Yeah, I guess. Like,
The
look,
Foo Fighters, as compared to Chili Peppers, where it's like,
Californication is pretty cinematic, man.
yeah, it's
isn't
in,
that just like an animation?
yes.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
an
so
awesome
it's not
animation.
it's not them acting being silly,
Mm.
right? They're not like when I say theatrical like that.
Dude, the Chili Peppers are all about that shit. Look at like Danny California and all their stuff.
As far as bands that could still have the potential to do something like this after Foo Fighters, I'm going to give you the list of the 3 bands that would have a shot. Ready?
Sure.
right now.
Right now, active like bands that are huge.
Okay, but hold on. What about Metallica? Oh, well, they did that thing.
Yeah, they did.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Okay.
What are they?
Green Day probably could.
Don't think so.
They're-
I think their star has waxed.
I mean, they just had a pretty big tour.
Well, they had
A lot of
they
bands
had
had a pretty big tour.
Yeah,
Who the
They
fuck is
had-
talking about
they
Green
had
Day?
a show on Broadway.
I'm talking about big.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago.
I'm talking about big American bands that could do something like
Isn't
this.
it still like?
Is it still going? American Idiot? I don't know.
might be.
I think it closed.
They're closed.
I don't wanna
Is it
be an
due
American
to
idiot.
COVID, or was it like just closed?
I think it just closed. Like it's time passed.
Okay.
I think, and I'm talking like that. Like we're talking 10 years. These bands have shots of doing it. Green Day probably not, but I think they're big enough where they could get away with it if they did like an American Idiot movie. I think Fall Out Boy has had enough theatrics where they could do something like this at a certain point because they have like all these anthemic hits they've done now and stuff.
Are they still big?
They their last album like had a ton of hits that they play at arenas. Basically, they were like, we're done doing like pop punk and emo, and they just do like rock anthems, kind of.
Okay.
And like it served them well because it kept them relevant. And then the next band, which I think those are the only two bands, because I was gonna say My Chemical Romance maybe, but I don't think they
That's
could.
such a of their time type band. You know?
But I'm thinking of the biggest, like, kind of the biggest active American mainstream rock bands.
I mean, you could have like classic bands. I think if they put it out, people
Like,
would
yeah,
see it.
look, if Iron Maiden,
like if U2 made a movie, people are gonna go see it. If fucking rattle off a classic rock band
Blink
that's still doing
182.
it that isn't 1,000 years old, like I was gonna say Guns N' Roses. They're like not existent.
Yeah.
But yeah, U2.
What about Maiden?
Maiden
They're
Maiden
old too, man.
have dedicated fans that will show up to anything they do.
Like our friend Biggie, who flies around the country to
Right.
watch them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. I think that's kind of done. Like the arena rock scene is going the way of the dinosaur.
Mm-hmm. I think you'll see like a pop star do it again at some point. Like you'll have like Olivia Rodrigo will do a movie or something like that.
Billie
By the
Eilish.
way, you're naming like the new stuff you say. I have no idea who these people are. You said BTS before. I didn't know what that was. What is that?
BTS,
Korean boy band.
they're a Korean boy band that's massive,
Yeah, they're huge.
insane.
Whoppa Gangnam Style?
No.
They're K-pop, but they like dance and shit too. I think they're more like Menudo, where like they've had different members and stuff. I know nothing about this.
It's just so much easier to produce like single artists or just singers more so than bands.
Mhm.
You actually need to find talent for bands.
Well-
You don't need that much talent to make like a boy band.
Historically,
You just need like average
Well,
talent.
you need a big
Yeah.
corporation.
Well, historically,
That's all it is.
like historically, bands come to have like they used to anyway. They would come together organically, right?
Well, that's not
You'd-
allowed anymore.
You'd
Yeah.
no, but that's how it was. Like you'd have a bunch
Yeah.
of friends. They start playing music together. They get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then
I don't even think like young kids play guitar anymore. You know, like
they
don't-
play Guitar Hero.
I mean,
Well, no, even that's like
some
probably
do, but
15 years
it's-
old.
It's not as much as when we were
Right.
younger, but they play instruments.
We sound like old men. We are old men.
That's
Yeah.
because we are.
Yeah.
But
Are we middle aged yet?
I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think officially.
we're
Yeah?
not middle age. We're 30. 30 and plus. We're middle age.
All right. Fine.
So I'm only making it to like 68.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Beaver's
average
damned
life-
us.
The average lifespan is 75.
Peter's like, look at your weight, you fat bastard. You'll be lucky to make it to 68.
Average lifespan
Have
is
another
75, bro.
cheeseburger, you fat fuck.
Wow,
Get
Beaver,
some
you're so
grease.
insulting,
Yeah.
Beaver.
You're mean.
So mean.
Okay. So that was a
I'm
fun little.
sorry.
That was a fun little detour for us. We got to talk about stuff we usually don't talk about.
I'm cutting all of it.
Good. Get it
Yeah.
out of there.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the history, to the
Okay.
brass tacks.
The history. So this one is a little personal for us,
It is.
What?
and it's a piece of history I've always wanted to know about and
Oh.
was interested in, and I decided to do research on it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
So-
excited.
In Chatham Square in Manhattan, right by Mott Street, there is a statue of a Chinese man.
Yes, he's a cop.
Okay. I looked into this guy because I wanted to know more about him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
About Chinese statue man.
yes. So, real quick, I refer to it as the Wohop statue.
Can we give a see? That's the thing. We gotta give a background.
That's
of
what I
that
wanted to do.
means, because
Yes.
we are from New York.
Yep.
We have visited Manhattan more than once a night. And we would go to a restaurant called Wohop.
Yes. So, Wohop is a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown in Manhattan that used to be basically 24/7. I think they would close like one day every 6 months to do a cleaning, and if you went on that day, you were fucked. But-
it's been around since the 30s.
Yep,
Yeah.
it is on Mott Street.
Yeah.
Yes, 17 Mott
Mott
Street.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go to 17 Mott Street,
This
there-
is the 5 points, by the way.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
historically speaking, it's
Mhm.
the old like gangs of New York. That was that area.
Yes. So, there is also 15 Mott Street, which is also Wohop, but do not go to that one. You got to go downstairs.
Yeah, 17's where it's at.
So we need to explain our history with Wohop a bit. I
we
think.
do. Is that relevant?
Is it relevant to the story?
No, but I mean we're talking about Wohop,
All right, let's
right?
talk Wohop.
If you
I
wanna
love
talk about
Wohop.
it,
Yeah.
I've been there a long time.
I haven't been to Wohop in a while.
All right, we'll go tonight.
So what are the
Let's go tonight.
what are the rules of Wohop?
Oh God, you really want to? Okay, we'll talk about this.
Yeah.
My
Always
neighbor.
the 17, never the 15.
Yes.
Right. My growing up, my best friend Jake and his dad were the people that introduced me to WoHop. His dad had been going there since the 70s, maybe even the 60s. And we went to go see Marillion, who was one of my favorite bands, one of Brian's favorite
Love
bands.
them. Check out their new album.
It's solid.
Yeah.
And after the show, it was my first experience at WoHop, and this guy, Hal, asked me 3 questions. And the first one was, did you ever smoke? And I said no, because I was 14, and I'd never smoked. I still haven't, actually. You ever drink? The answer to that was yes. Did you ever have sex? The answer was yes. And thank God he was too drunk, because he drove us there inebriated, to actually listen to my answer and tell my parents, because that was the secret at the time. and then the third, those were 3. I had to answer the 3 questions. And then he made me take an oath to never go to the 15, always the 17. There were 2 WoHops, always the 17.
And have you broken the oath?
I've never broken the
So
oath.
we are around an oath breaker.
Yes.
Because he's a piece of fucking shit.
So apparently I'm very.
I
mean to
made
my
everyone
friend.
else take the oath. I had such reverence for this man and his 3 questions. I don't know. They mean nothing.
Wait,
But
there is another thing.
there's another thing.
Yes.
There is another thing, yes.
He says, "Do you trust me?" Because you cannot
You don't look at the menu.
look at the menu when
right.
you are on
That's
WoHop.
right. There's
If you look at the menu when you are in WoHop, your food will be fucked up. You will have a bad experience.
that is the legend.
We have seen people have rocks in their food.
Me?
Yep.
We have seen chipped tooth.
Yep.
We have seen wrong orders.
Roaches?
Every time
Roaches.
every time someone opens the menu, do not open the menu.
Then you'll be all right.
So outside of WoHop, there is a statue of a Chinese man, and I have always wanted to know why there is a statue of this guy. And I looked into it.
Mm-hmm.
He is actually one of history's biggest fuck-ups,
Really?
and he is undeserving of a statue, in my opinion.
Oh, my goodness. This
Yes.
is a hot take.
Yeah, I mean, there's a statue in a very specific part of the city.
A place
Probably
of
the
prominence.
biggest city in the world at one point, if not still.
No, it's Tokyo, I believe.
Okay, so
So
his
one of the biggest.
so his name is Lin Zheju.
Okay.
He is from China, and this story takes place around the 1830s to the 1840s, right?
Okay.
He grew up in China. He did not want China to open to the West. He was against that.
So
Okay.
this was straight gangs in New York era.
No,
Yeah.
he's not in America. He is in China.
I'm just saying the era is in New York.
20 years before.
We're
but yeah,
assuming he'll get to America,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I
in
mean,
this
yeah.
story, right?
he does not come to America.
Why is there a statue of him in,
Yeah,
in
what?
Manhattan?
That's the thing that's been puzzling me after I learned about this, especially because he's a fuck up.
Oh, so what
Okay,
happened?
so at the time, the UK is giving a shitload of silver to China, and what are they getting in return? It
Opium.
no, they are.
Oh no, they're giving the opium
Hold
to the
on,
Chinese.
hold on. They're getting tea, porcelain, silk, and spice. Right
Yeah, that makes sense.
now, they're getting a little cash poor. So what they start doing is they start sending opium
Send
into
them opium, right?
China. Right.
The opium wars.
The opium epidemic starts in China, and it starts getting really fucking bad, right? And there's addicts, and shit is brutal.
mm-hmm.
He was like
The guy.
He's like a royal vizier. He's a governor of a state. He's in esteem.
Mm-hmm.
He begs Queen Victoria in a letter to stop, like, sending the drug to China. He's like, we have people dying.
Yes.
This is a plague on our society. Please, I'm begging you. She ignored it. A British paper published it, like, trying to be like, maybe we shouldn't poison these people.
Oh, God.
He was like an upstanding moral guy.
Uh-huh.
Super moral, like a poet, like really like gentleman laureate style shit, right?
Mhm.
He's a really good dude. Eventually he goes to the emperor. He's like, we need to ban this. Like, we got to do something. The emperor is like, no. The emperor then finds paraphernalia for opium in his son's room.
Yeah.
Now it's close to home. He's like, okay, now this is a problem.
Well, I'm sure that the dynasty was making tons of money off the British. That's why they the government would take a blind eye to the plight of the common man.
Yeah.
But now it's gotten close to home. You're saying?
It got close to home for the emperor. Yes. So it's a big deal. They passed the first anti-drug laws in China. This dude himself goes and arrests 1,700 dealers.
British people or Chinese people?
Chinese people that are selling opium from the British.
Right.
Gets 2 million pounds of fucking opium and starts throwing it into the sea.
That's a lot of opium.
That's a lot. Obviously, he didn't do it all at once, but it's like over a certain amount of time.
Okay.
As he's doing it, he's reciting a poem to like God that he is sorry for defiling like the oceans this way, and for putting this poison into the sea. But it's the only way to get this blight like out of his like country.
Well, isn't it just? Well, I mean, I don't know how it's processed and shipped, but isn't it just a plant?
I think it's It's ready
refined.
to smoke. This is not like poppy seeds.
It's like ground up and stuff. I assume it's like a powder or dust.
Yeah, but it's not harmful to the environment. It's a natural product. They're not adding chemicals.
He
at
just
this
hates
time.
it. I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
on a
what it
moral
is.
level.
Yeah. Okay.
It'd be like if
It was destroying China.
Yeah.
You know.
I get it. Okay.
So he dumps it into the sea, right?
Mhm.
He had been to Europe a handful of times, and he goes to the emperor. He's like, look, even though we got rid of this, the British are a small little island. I've been there. They're weak. We're fucking the Qing dynasty. No one's going to fuck with us. We can't lose. It's fine.
Were they killing female babies at this point?
No, that was
No,
the
that-
communists.
Yeah. So he's like, don't worry about the Brits. They're not shit. He tells this.
that was the wrong.
He tells
move.
this to the emperor. The Brits are like, fuck you. We're not stopping selling. We need money. They keep pouring in opium.
We need that cash.
Right?
It's one of the most egregious just colonial imperialism moments ever.
It gets so brutal. This guy starts the first opium war himself by what he's pushing and what he does. Because of this, the Brits come in
With gunboats.
with gunboats. They completely win naval battles. They dominate. Completely underestimated the Brits. He gave his emperor wrong advice throughout the whole
They
thing.
level like every town on the Yangtze.
They smoke them fucking hot. They take Hong Kong. They basically break China.
The British built Hong Kong.
Well-
Hong Kong was an island. Like China was closed to the west,
Yeah.
and they allowed the British to set up shop on the island of Hong Kong, and it turned into a massive metropolis eventually. But like that's the only place where there are British people, and then they would just from that point send the drugs into the country.
Yeah. But because of this, like, it becomes like, official British territory,
Right.
not just like where they are.
Yes.
And they take it, they smoke them so fucking hot. After this, after the Opium War,
First one. 'Cause
the
there's more
first
than
one, there's two. What happens is 30 million people get hooked on opium afterwards, which is 10 times more than it was before.
Holy shit.
So originally it was 3 million.
Uh-huh.
After this shit,
30.
30,
Oh,
which is 10% of their population at the time.
Wow.
that's
10% of the
That is-
population of China was hooked on opium.
How many is hooked on opium in America today?
Honestly, might be a similar number. This dude,
Yeah.
this dude is banished to Xi'an.
Really?
Yup, he's
They
banished
blamed
there.
him.
He's completely blamed. The emperor's like, this guy gave me shit advice.
No, I
We
don't- Fuck
underestimated.
the emperor then.
We underestimated the Brits. Like, we should have tried something different rather than this, because now they're just fucking our day in life up. While he's there, he's the first person on record to discover Chinese Muslims.
But wait, what?
While he's in Xi'an,
The province
The-
in the east.
in the east, yeah. It's where they have their death camps today for the Uyghurs.
The Uyghur.
Am I saying it right?
No, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So he is the first person
What do you
on
mean
record.
you discovered them? Like they didn't know they were there?
They didn't know that there were Chinese Muslims. He is like, whoa, this isn't like he gets banished there, and he goes there, and he discovers like that there's Chinese people practicing Islam. He's like, this is fucking weird, and he writes about it, about like how interesting and like bizarre this is.
Huh. That seems odd.
Yeah.
That they wouldn't just know that it's their territory.
I guess it's so far away they
Like,
kind of don't care.
Didn't they have ships going?
This is
Like-
way inland. This is like the
inland.
Gobi Desert.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
So, what a story, Mark.
What's a story, Mark?
So after this, obviously there's a second opium war. Where
He's not involved in this one.
He is not involved in this one.
I think he deserves a statue.
Hold on. They get
Oh, there's more. Okay.
they get smoked again. They get smoked again, the Chinese. This time it's the French and like the Americans, and they carve up China's interests, and they give way to what the Chinese refer to as the century of humiliation,
Yes.
because it's the next 100 years they're just fucking a puppet for the West.
For everyone,
Yeah.
including the Japanese.
Japanese, Russia too.
Right. You have
Um,
all these spheres of influence. This leads to the Boxer Rebellion eventually, and the Peking
yeah,
thing.
and they all get fucked up and shit.
Boxer Rebellion led to Boxing Day.
As a result of the second,
That's not true.
as a result of the second opium war, mad ports had to be opened to the West. Christianity was allowed to be
Right.
practiced there, and missionaries were allowed to come in. China had to legalize opium, meaning that the shit was
so fun.
meaning that this was now legal, and like
Did it skyrocket from like 30 million to like 70?
I don't have
why
numbers
you
beyond
see,
30.
Like in American movies and stuff like that take place in that
Opium
period.
dens.
You have the opium dens are always run by
Always
Chinese.
there. Yeah.
Always. Like look at Once Upon a Time in America and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
And basically, this dude is banished. Eventually, they let him back in. He has like a small position in the government, and there was a rebellion somewhere, and they send him to deal with it, and he dies on the way.
I wonder if it was Charles Gordon.
It was in Taiwan, I believe.
Oh, okay. Then I
Yeah.
don't think that's him.
But anyway, he's on the way. He dies. And, years later, he's revered for his hardcore anti-drug stance, being the first, like, drug warrior. And now there's a statue of him in New York for some reason.
I don't know why it's there in New York, but I think he's a noble guy, and
I res-
deserving of a statue.
I respect him, but he's also a giant fuck up.
Well,
That too.
he failed.
Yeah.
He took a shot and it didn't pan out.
But he took his shot for the greater good.
Right. Yeah. I
So I
don't blame
think
the
that's the
guy.
statue.
I don't blame the guy. I blame
Yeah.
the situation, and I blame the British. They were really
Yeah,
being
yeah.
pieces of shit.
What I love about, like, the British in history is sometimes they're, like, so noble and awesome,
Yeah.
and other times they're, like, the biggest pieces of shit
It
ever.
is the duality of empire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Also, I have a little sketch I did, as I do for every one of these. Would you like to say
Can
what
you
the
explain
sketch
that?
is?
Because I can't see it.
That's either Chinese Brian's attempt at Chinese writing, or he's drawn little opium men in an opium den.
Yes. It's opium men in an opium
Or
den.
Chinese writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chinese writing is
Chinese
all
writing,
symbols,
you got an
so-
upside down boat.
Yeah.
Fucking, it means I
Like,
love you.
houses actually look like you're drawing a house.
All right, you
Like
got club
that's,
kids getting it tattooed on them.
Yeah. I love when I see those and like somebody from China actually sees it and reads it and like and translates it directly, and you're just like, oh, that's not good.
That's not what you think it means.
Nope.
Yeah, so what'd you think of that one?
That's
Well, that's a
interesting.
story,
Very
Mark.
interesting.
Yeah.
I can kind of picture why it's there. Like maybe we could piece it together. Like somebody like a really higher up from Chinatown just liked that guy and was like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna put a statue of him, or maybe a family member.
So I thought
Yeah,
I thought he
descendant.
was an American cop like for years. Like I thought he was like the first
don't blame
Chinese
you.
cop in America.
I
or
thought that
something.
too.
I don't blame you.
I thought that too. Like we used to, because we've seen that statue a trillion times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of want to go back to see it now.
Yeah.
Now knowing the
Now,
context.
now knowing the context, I really want to see if there's like writing on it or something that will give us an idea of why it's there.
Just proves don't fight drug wars, kids.
Yeah, it's a losing battle. It's a losing battle. Just do drugs.
Always
Just
a
do drugs.
lesson.
Yeah.
at the end.
Support the British Empire. Do your own thing.
Okay, Steve, you have something?
I realized that I stick to a theme. I love picking people. I like to
Yeah.
hear about their story and
You're a people picker.
I'm a people picker. So I picked Lord Byron,
Ah.
the English poet, and it says it's spelled Pierre of the UK, but how do you pronounce that?
Is it Pierre?
Pierre of the UK, I believe. It's like when you're the royalty that is kind of married into the royal family.
Do you mean
kind of
just the
thing.
word peer, like they're peers?
It's spelled P-E-E-R.
Peer.
Okay, sure, Pierre. I thought maybe there was a different pronunciation for it.
So he's like a Kate Middleton, where he's not of royal blood.
He was married, like his father married into the lordship, and then he took over that estate.
So Lord Byron's a guy I've heard of, but I don't know too much about him.
Yes. So Lord Byron, he's a English poet, born 1788, died 1824.
Okay.
Now, this guy's life was insane. And since he was a poet and writer,
How insane was it?
yeah.
So insane.
One of the greatest English poets. So you can find his entire life's work and story online or through books.
Mhm.
He was a leader of the Romantic movement. So that can kind of give you an idea of where his brain was.
He's all about fucking.
He's all about fucking. He fucks everyone. Now, I don't want to take away from him because this is a comedy podcast, so I'm going to go to the more funnier aspects of his life. But he has led a pretty intricate and extraordinary life. If you really want to dig into him, I highly recommend it.
But we're just gonna make.
But
fun
we're just
of him
going for
now.
the hard. We're going for the crazy, silly stuff that he's done. So he has made famous works like Don Juan. which you've probably
That's
heard
his
before.
book. Yes.
That is his book. Now,
Now I was really impressed that he wrote that because
Mhm.
that movie came out in 2010,
Yeah,
and it was
ScarJo.
like Scarlett Johansson, and it was about how Joseph Gordon-Levitt can't stop jerking it to
he was
porn.
addicted to porn, and then ScarJo pulls him away from the porn. I didn't see the movie, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing that the
So-
guy from 1788 wrote this.
Yes, it was very impressive. They knew about internet pornography.
He's ahead of his time.
He's ahead of
Yeah.
his time, yes. So he was, as most people that I pick, eccentric.
Okay.
To give a little example of how eccentric he was, he went to Cambridge. And at Cambridge, he got into partying, he got into
Okay.
drugs, he got into gambling and debts, and he also really wanted a dog. And Cambridge said, "You're not allowed to have a dog in the rooms. You're staying here. You're not allowed."
a dog here.
But they never said anything about a bear.
The rules clearly state there's no
So
canines on the premises.
He goes, "Oh yeah." He adopts a bear and brings it into his room.
Hey,
in
boo-boo.
university in Cambridge. So you can see just where this guy's mind is.
What kind of bear was it?
I you know what? I didn't look, but I'm assuming it's like a black bear, considering it's where they are.
Right.
believe it was a honey bear. A smackerel of honey, Lord Byron.
So,
Well, I guess we're not playing this in the People's Republic of China.
we're banned from millions of people. So this guy did so much fucking that when he reconnected with his half sister, he got
fucked her.
pregnant.
Wow. I thought I was making a joke.
Yeah.
No, in fact,
What year is this about?
he was born in 1788. He died 1824.
Okay.
So there's a window of insanity here.
Mm.
Yeah.
So he decides to get married to a rich heiress. Smart move. The woman divorced him because he kept fucking his half sister.
There ain't no pussy like that half sister pussy.
You know, this show really goes to incest a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's just where
It's
history
just
goes.
History goes around sometimes. Yeah. Don't worry. He does more fucking. He does a lot more.
Well, thank goodness.
He leaves England to visit a lady, Perry Shelley.
Perry Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
Where is she?
Switzerland. Also a famous writer / poet of Romanticism.
Uh-huh.
Also composed Frankenstein.
Oh, that's Mary Shelley.
Mhm.
He was banging her.
He
Oh,
was.
is this
Mhm.
the famous... So the famous story with Frankenstein is that there were a bunch of writers and
Mhm.
poets trapped in a lodge in Switzerland in the mountains. He was there?
He was there.
Aha.
So
And one of them wrote Dracula, one of them wrote
Uh-huh.
Frankenstein.
So actually, Frankenstein is the doctor. You may not know that.
Everyone knows that.
So
And I didn't bring it up. There was no monster mentioned. You're just being silly. Everyone knows that. There's not a person listening to this that didn't know that. Fuck you.
that was like the most serious and angry fuck you I think I've ever heard you say.
But it was completely unserious.
Was it? It felt sincere. It felt really sincere. So,
So they're trapped.
so he was present while she's composing Frankenstein.
Why did you
Or-
call her Perry?
What's that?
Why did you call her Perry? It's
It's
Mary.
first name. It's Perry Mary Shelley or Mary Perry Shelley, one or the other. It's two first names.
It's her real name, and
It's
then
a real
Mary
name and
Shelley
then
was her pen name.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
So,
Real quick, did any of you guys read Frankenstein?
I did.
no, I didn't read it.
How old were you?
I was in college.
So I tried to read it in like 4th grade, and I was reading it, and I got bored and never finished it.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
It starts. He's in like a Russian Arctic. He's like outside the city of Archangel, which he's like up in the snow.
I can't even recall it. I would like to reread that.
Mm.
Yeah, give it a shot. So, depending on which account you're going by, he was definitely present for the composition
That.
of Frankenstein, but also fucking Shelley's sister.
He's really
And he was
debonair,
fucking
isn't he?
Shelley.
And Shelley, yeah. So he was swinging.
His dick must be
Yeah.
awesome.
It's, he
How
had
much?
to, right?
How much
He had to.
VD did he have?
Oh, I don't want to think about it.
He's banging more bros than Pete Davidson.
But
He
then
was
there's,
banging. He was banging British aristocrats 2 at a time.
The players couldn't get a drink at the table.
Yeah.
So after this, he moves to Italy, and he teaches himself Armenian, for the sole purpose of rewriting the Bible with what he thought were better stories.
Oh,
I didn't look up the stories, but I'm probably going to after this because
that's cool.
that
So he's
sounds,
like-
he's
he's
a
like,
crazy person.
You know what? This arc shit. Nah. You know what we
Nah.
need? Terminators.
I might bet my life that he adds more fucking into the Bible.
Probably.
Like that's like his go-to.
Is
thing.
that even possible? Like everybody's always fucking and killing it. It's already.
it's possible.
Well, you know what the whole deal with that is? Like, there's stuff that was cut out at the Council of Nicaea. Like
Mhm.
when
in the Bible.
yeah, in the early days of Christianity, like there was way more
Yeah.
like stuff floating around,
Mhm.
and the Emperor Constantine brought all like the Christian leaders to Nicaea, where they hammered out what's officially going to be
Mhm.
the religion.
Is there any like record of what was cut from it? No, right? Maybe in the Vatican.
You have to check. So on the DVD, if you go to deleted scenes,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all there.
Yeah.
You got to listen to the commentary though.
Yeah.
Emperor Constantine is just like, yeah, we didn't like the way this was going. It really didn't lead anywhere.
I don't know.
There's
Maybe
no-
somebody might have saved it in like the Vatican somewhere. Like who knows?
You know, there's definitely stuff out there. I just don't know where you would find that or where it exists.
Hmm.
I'm sure it's out there though.
Okay.
The truth is out there.
Someone once said that. I think it was David Duchovny.
So
Also, another famous coxman.
Yeah.
yeah, we really like going for the coxman. Here. He sold an estate at one point with the sole purpose of helping Greece to fight for their independence.
That was
Who-
a big thing at that
Who
time.
would Greece be
Huge thing.
fighting?
The Ottoman Turks.
Mhm.
Okay, so this would be the equivalent of if like Brad Pitt, or let's say Steven Spielberg. I don't know how much of a coxman he is, but he sold like
This is like
Amblin.
George Clooney.
No,
selling
it's Pete
his
Davidson.
villa
yeah, you're right. It's Pete Davidson selling like his Staten Island mansion
for $5 to $10 million
and sending it to the
to
Ukraine.
Exactly the same thing. One thing that I found
Pete
really
Davidson, the
interesting.
modern day poet.
Modern
Okay.
day Lord Byron is Pete Davidson. One of the more interesting things that I found out about this man is not so much about him, but his
Did
daughter.
he have a rapper that hates him? Is out to get him?
Poet.
A genius.
A Jesus.
Well, how does he says genius, but he spells it like Jeenzzus or something like that. Genius. His daughter is Ada Lovelace. Have you ever heard this name before?
Yeah.
Lovelace, I think of the porn.
Loveless
Linda
is the
Lovelace.
man with no legs who was going to have the Western states secede from the Union with help from Mexico and the Germans, but Will Smith thankfully stopped him with Artemis.
Artemis Clyde.
Fucking spider. So Ada Lovelace is famously known and revered as one of the first computer programmers. She was a
Okay.
mathematician.
That's
that
his daughter?
Structured the theory of computer programming. Yes.
Theory, obviously.
It's it's the math behind it.
Right.
But she is known as the first programmer because she was making mechanical engineering, like, I guess, blueprints of a system that could process information.
She was kind of
in the
arranging-
1800s.
She was arranging how everything would work in theory.
In theory, yes.
Wow.
And she's
Without electricity.
Yeah. And she is the product of this guy just fucking
Slanging dick everywhere.
everywhere.
You know what, though? I guess if you have enough babies.
Some of them
One
have to be
gotta
successful.
right?
One of them gotta be good. I don't know if he had
Many children.
Many children. I think that's the only real legitimate child of his because he's fucking women who are
Who's the
fucking everyone
mother?
else. Oh, I couldn't tell you. I didn't write it down.
Okay.
But yeah, I found that really interesting. Sadly, before he was able to fight Greece with Greece for their independence,
He had to race down
passed
the
away.
tunnel with John Travolta.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Grease lad.
So wait, how'd he die?
I think he died. I could be wrong. Like a heart attack.
Okay.
Like he didn't die like a glorious death. He was gonna go fight with Greece, and then he passed away before he could. Which was
I mean,
1824.
Greeks are dying.
It seems like he had a fun life.
Oh, definitely. And I very, very much undersold everything he's done. At one point, he traveled the Mediterranean just building up debt because he knew he was going to go back and just not have to pay it back. So his mother was really worried because he was building up so much debt in England that he left his debtors. They tried collecting on it. He wasn't there. Built up more debt in the Mediterranean and Italy and other places, and then went back.
So he's kind of a freeloader.
He really, and he was wealthy. It's not like he couldn't pay it back.
Yeah.
He just was like, no.
How did he have money again?
He inherited.
And he inherited
It's
it.
always like a lot of these stories.
And he
with-
married an heiress, right?
And he married an heiress, but they divorced because he was fucking his half sister.
That sister poon was too good.
Always is.
Yeah, they have paintings of all the people he was involved with, and I gotta say, he's got a type.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
What is he like?
You got like the blue eyes,
Blonde?
blonde / dirty
Sleazy.
blonde. You got
Yeah.
porcelain skin. If you have porcelain skin, this guy's going for you. Like that's his way. But you can look him up, and he goes really in depth of like other things. But those are the highlights of his insanity.
Are his writings of his sexual conquests like in detail?
So he would write.
Looking for Jack material brain?
Yeah. I'm looking for like 18th century eroticism.
He would write specifically because he knew he can get away with writing poems and not having to like pay for it because it's art. So he would like throw jabs at like politicians and leaders through the poems and stuff like that. So,
okay.
and he also had a lot of like animals in his houses, and they asked him why. He's like, oh, because they're all spirits.
Mhm.
He would think like from the other world they would inhabit animal bodies, and he would just let them walk around.
Do you think that castle that like he stayed in,
What are you talking about?
like when he was with the writers, like when they were snowed in?
In Switzerland, wasn't it like a cabin?
I don't know.
I always pictured it as like a cabin.
I
like
always
a mountain retreat.
I always pictured it was like a castle. There was a Doctor Who episode where this happened,
It was in a castle.
and there's like an alien and shit, but
Doctor Who.
yeah, but he's not a medical doctor. but so they were in this. They were in this cabin, and like there's a monster and shit, but it wasn't a cabin. It was more like a castle. So that's like kind of what's in my head. But
Okay.
do you think that must have been like? So like, let's say you're there and you're not one of the people fucking Lord Byron, right?
They all were, so
But like there were dudes there too, right?
He's fucking them.
he's fucking.
Oh,
He's
you
like
think-
Mick Jagger.
Yeah, he's fucking. them
You think
too.
it's just
Yeah,
everybody?
he's like David Bowie, Mick Jagger shit going on.
I feel like he would be the type of person that you invite him over, and he's like, he comes in, and he just drops his pants.
Yeah.
And like you're just like, this is happening, and he's like, this is happening, and you just agree, you roll with it.
I must be drained.
He's gonna write a poem about it later.
Yes.
Do you-
But you are my muse.
You made him creepy.
I must be drained.
The juices must flow. Creative juices, that is.
Figuratively and metaphorically.
Okay, so what do you got it?
All right, so we are. I don't have a thing like the rest of you guys.
You don't have a
Okay.
person
I don't
or
have a
an
thing.
event.
I have created a little bit of a I guess it's a game, but it's more.
God, again.
No, it's better than the last one. I promise. And the last one wasn't bad, so
I
shut
enjoyed
up.
the last one.
We are now 22 years removed from the 20th century,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
And it has been the 20th century. That is probably, in my opinion, the most transformative century in human history. More things altered the human experience than ever before.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I have compiled, based on my own opinions,
Which are worth shit.
everyone loves a top 10 list. I've created a top 10 list of the most important and influential events of the 20th century. I now task the two of you with deducing what is on my list.
Okay. So number 1, layup. 9/11.
9/11 was in the 21st century.
You know what's really
not the 20th.
First split second, when you were like, number 1 layup, I'm like, why would a basketball move? And he paused, and I'm like, is he really going for this? I was hoping you weren't.
Okay.
And we can keep score on who gets the most of them.
Okay.
Ryan, of course, has hit one out of the park immediately with the wrong century. Good job, brain.
You have to admit that would have been number 1.
If I was doing a completely different topic, yes.
Now, hold on. I guess I want to kind of...
That would have been number 1 if it wasn't exactly what you were talking about. Great, brain. You're killing it.
Oh, I can't even get my sentence out. Okay. Could this be something like if I said the invention of smartphones? Would that be
Again,
would that
21st century thing.
But he's saying if it
No,
was
I'm saying if
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
something like that.
I've got social movement. I've got technology. I've got actual
Okay, just
historical
making sure.
events.
All right, okay.
It's all over the place.
it's a top 10
It's
list.
the top 10 list of the most important, impactful things that I feel have happened in the 20th century.
Okay. So
1900 to 1999.
okay, so obviously I know the first one,
What is number 1?
Industrial Revolution.
Again, that is the 19th century. Brian is now. I think he's doing it on purpose. He's picking the wrong centuries.
Cotton gin.
Eli Whitney. No, not the Industrial Revolution.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
World War II.
World War II is not on my list. However, there are specific things referring to the
Oh.
world. More specific than the
More that was what I was going to ask. So we're more specific.
the things I have of that event are more
Okay.
specific.
Atomic bomb.
The atomic bomb is my number 2 on the list.
Okay.
Number 2.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Would
Good.
you like to
Would
have
you
a
like to
guess, Steve?
Have a guess, Stephen? This is great.
Just dead air, Steve.
Well, I can cut.
Yeah, but
I'm okay with
you
that.
know,
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with taking my
With
sweet
taking
time.
my sweet ass time.
The people at home are screaming out things right now.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
I don't want to. I wanted to give Steve a turn.
What is the jet engine?
Specifically, the jet engine is not there, but there is a broader thing related to that.
Airplanes.
Flight. I
Yeah,
have
I would-
flight.
Yeah, airplanes.
yeah,
I
I-
mean, that's what I meant, but
Flight is my number 3.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Ready?
It's
Mhm.
1-1 now.
The internet.
That's my number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured that would.
So
be.
you guys have gotten the top 3 right off the bat.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Brian has 2. Stephen has 1.
Okay.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Television.
There's a broader thing that would encompass that I have.
Radio.
Also, same thing.
Media.
Communications.
Mass media / pop culture.
I think you have to give that.
I will give it to both of you, I guess. Number 4. That
Okay.
is number 4.
Okay.
You got the top 4. You
Yeah.
guys
Yeah,
are
we're
going
we're going in order.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
I mean, it is
Um,
interesting, like the top 4. Like we have like violence, right? Like the
Mhm.
most
Top-
destructive thing humanity's ever
Ever
done.
come up with?
And
Yeah.
the most
Yeah.
successful thing humanity's ever done.
And then like we have like
Internet.
flight.
We have 2 things that are mass communication game changers. You
Yeah.
know, like just
Mhm.
mass media and the internet. You know, like nothing has been more transformative than those 2 things, I think.
So it's funny, like if you look at the world in the 1990s, the late 1990s, and you
Mhm.
compare it to like 2020, it is so radically different as far as communication, the way people view
Exactly.
things, the music, the culture. Like,
in
That was
such
big-
a short
that was gonna
span of
be-
time.
Yes.
That was going to be my next guess.
Which is why I chose it for number one.
yeah,
Again,
I
you know.
agree. Whereas,
I
like,
would have said entertainment.
like I
yeah.
don't feel like a tremendous difference between like 1900 and 1930.
Yeah,
there's a-
well, you know,
there's a difference,
You've
but-
got a lot of stuff that happens in that time period, like flight and
Yeah.
the First World War is huge.
I'm talking like culture wise.
Yeah, I often think like 1700 to 1800, nothing changes.
Mhm.
You know, and you could even say that from like 1500 to 1800 to 1900.
Yeah.
It's very similar lifestyle, industrializations in there. But 1900 to 1999, it's a completely
Insane,
alien
insane.
world.
You take a dude from 1900 and
and
put
just
him in,
plop them in.
and he's like,
What the fuck?
I'm in an alien planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I would have said the next one is entertainment because that
Well,
is
I would
massive.
lump
That's
that in with my
media.
number 4 with mass media.
It would be
pop
mass
culture.
media.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then satellites like space flight.
There is a space flight thing in here, but it is not that broad.
Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon. That
I
is-
get that.
That is number 10.
I get
I would-
that.
I
I
would've
think
said
Brain
that.
got that
I
one.
said space flight.
Fuck
Get
you.
out of here. Get
That's
outta
number
here.
10.
You don't get that.
Point for Brain.
You don't get that. We
That-
didn't land on the moon.
That in the in the future, that may gain significance, but we just haven't done enough with it. I think as a species yet.
of
Yeah.
space flight.
Yes, we haven't done enough with it to make it bigger
We
than
have
some of the other things.
satellites.
Yes, I know that, but it's just it
You're
does it
using
does.
it.
All right.
I know
You
what
agree
you're
with me?
saying. You're saying like we're not like living on the
Right.
moon, and, we
And
don't
as
have,
that happens,
we don't have space colonies. We haven't done space expansion yet.
Right.
And when that inevitably happens,
It could
that
move
will-
up from the 10 position.
that will be a bigger event.
And obviously, that's what it's striving to, is to move up on my personal top 10
I still get
list.
that point.
Yes.
You don't get the point. I give that to Brain.
Fuck you.
Point for Brain.
What is
Fine.
the score? I haven't been keeping score.
I haven't been keeping it
I
either.
I
I think he has 3 and I have
it's
1.
3-1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Guys are doing good.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's gonna get difficult, considering space flight is 10.
Yeah.
What the
Does
hell is
rock
better
and
than
roll count, or is that
That's
media?
It's in the media pop
Okay,
culture.
I just wanted to
That's
make sure
media.
we were differentiating, because I would have said like the Beatles.
Mm.
Civil rights.
Oh, that's interesting.
Civil rights,
But that wasn't as a
that is a
race.
very American
Uh-huh.
thing.
That wasn't. A
I
human
do
race.
have something very similar that is more global.
Okay.
Civil rights is anti-slavery too, though. So that's a little.
Well, the slave thing was really settled in the 19th century, I think.
Okay.
Which was obviously, when we
How about global use of
when
currency?
we invented YouTube, the 19th century.
currency trading.
I do not have that, and I would say that's also a
Like
earlier thing. That's probably the British pound and the stuff from the previous 2 centuries, really.
But not on a global scale, like instantaneously though. I guess you can count that as internet, right?
Yeah, that's more now.
Well, no, it was in the 1900s. 1900s.
You don't have apartheid, right? Ending apartheid.
No.
Okay.
However, there are things that would link into that I have.
Because I'm trying to think if civil rights isn't an answer, what would be close?
It's not race, but something else. Something with bigger, farther-reaching
Religion?
effects. No.
No.
I was gonna say women's rights.
Yeah, he's on the right track.
Yeah.
I have at number 9 the sexual revolution / women's liberation.
Oh.
We
Yeah.
got 3 more, fellas. 3
Okay. 3 more. And it's 3-2, right?
3-2. We got 3 more. So we've named a lot so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have been doing
Oh,
very good.
the automobile.
Automobile, you could correct me on this, but I'm fairly certain that is a 19th century invention.
Yeah.
Or are you thinking like a steam car? Like the Ford,
And also that's industrial revolution.
the Mobile T is fucking...
The
It's
only
industrial revolution.
It
you've
is
got
wait, is it the Model T? I said the Mobile T. The Mobile T,
the Model T is definitely in the 20th century, but that's
Yeah.
not the first car.
But
you
that's
know.
like the first mass-produced car
That is true.
really like...
That is true.
you know.
If it's not on
But
this
mass
list,
production as a thing is more considered with early
Yeah.
industrialism, and I'll give it to that, to like the Carnegies and the Rockefellers. You've gotten all the inventions.
Okay.
There are no more inventions on here.
Okay.
All
And
right.
we're thinking global, not just
Global,
America.
not just America.
Okay, because obviously then you could be like Nam.
the
you
fall
know.
of
Well,
monarchies.
Nam plays into my number 8.
Fall of
There-
monarchies and spread of democracy.
Yeah, you fall of monarchies. You're so close. You're so
And
close.
I said the spread of democracy.
Fall of communism.
That's another one. But I have decolonization at number 8.
Okay.
The empires.
I'll give that to Steve.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I appreciate
So what
that.
is it?
That would be like the Vietnams of the world.
No,
and-
I know what that is. I meant the score dumb shit.
I think it's.
I don't know what decolonization is.
How many did we get? So
I'm not
far?
sitting here in my own fucking
It's-
drool.
All right. I
What's-
don't know what the score is. Beaver's been keeping track.
I thought it was.
I think it's 4-2 or 4-3.
Who's got 4?
I have 4.
I just got this one. I had 2 before, so it's 4-3.
All right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because
So-
we had 6 total. Now we had 7. There's 3 more.
Okay.
We have 2 more. 2 more. And
Is
you
it a-
almost hit it right.
Is it a 10 list?
It's a 10 list.
The
Well, if it's 4-3,
the
then
Berlin Wall coming down.
How do we have 2 more if it's 4-3? So it's not 4-3.
Oh,
So-
yeah, you're right. Oh, well, didn't I give you both a point for mass media /
That's
Fox?
what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Berlin Wall coming down.
I have the rise and fall of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
As number 4.
Yeah,
As,
yeah,
as number
that's yours.
6. As number 6.
Yeah.
So
that's mine.
I can't beat you, but we did good. So
We
have
got one more,
right?
and I think this
That
is
is-
this is a pretty straightforward. I thought
So-
you might have gotten this
so
first.
So hold on,
The last one.
Really?
real quick.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk about the wall coming down.
Okay.
That is such a. Honestly, I have a couple of memories in my life I associate with my earliest memories.
Mm-hmm.
The Berlin Wall coming down is one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really, really young because I'm born in '87. And
you're a year old.
I believe it
No,
came. It came down in '89.
the wall. Yeah, the wall's 89.
So I remember.
Wow, you remember that?
I remember being at my family's house, right? And it's so vague.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we all sat down on the TV.
And you just had this.
Well,
sense
no,
that this
yeah,
is a
we
big
didn't sit
fucking
on the
deal.
On
TV.
the TV. Yeah.
We sat around the whole TV and everyone was watching it.
Mhm.
And like, the image of the wall coming down, I have like a vague recollection of seeing it as a little kid.
Hmm.
And I've had that like my whole life. Like I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we were at my first house, like when I was a real little kid. And then my other first memory, like earliest memory I can recall, is I think it's the first or second episode of The Simpsons. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
It's the episode where Bart cuts off Jedediah's
Oh, the head.
the head, yeah, where he cuts off Jedediah Springfield's head.
Oh, I remember that.
Those are my 2 earliest memories.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Okay, so we have one left.
One
right?
left, and I honestly thought you guys were gonna get this as like the first one.
Really?
What number is this on your list?
This is number 5.
I mean, we got like the top 3 right off the bat. Wow.
Yeah.
So
But I just figured like chronologically, this is the second oldest.
This is the second
oldest.
oldest?
Yeah.
and it's not.
Oh, wait a
invention.
minute. I'm sorry. We have 2 more.
I told you we
Okay.
had 2
We have
more.
2 more. I'm sorry.
Okay.
This guy does it.
We have 2 more.
And what's is that the 6th one?
We have number 5 and number 7 are still out there.
Number 7.
Number 5 and number 7.
Okay. Okay. And all inventions are gone.
Inventions are gone.
So this
Okay.
is
Are there conflicts left?
There is.
World War One,
Specific.
trench warfare,
Mm-mm.
Treaty of Versailles.
Nope.
Chemical
Oh.
warfare banned.
Nope.
yeah, but
Earlier.
The spark that lit the powder
That is
keg.
exactly right. Gabriello
Okay.
Princip shooting that son of a
wouldn't
bitch.
you chalk it up for World War One?
The start of World War One.
Because that single event
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kick-
Lit-
starts it.
It does everything. Yeah.
it creates 2 world wars.
Yeah,
You know?
like my dude, Lindsay Zhao starts 2 opium wars by
Right.
himself,
Yes.
basically.
And Princip does the same thing.
Yes,
On a much grander scale.
yeah, which changes the fucking world.
Right.
Okay.
History, yeah. Okay, one. So this is one more.
I got one more, and this
I
is
believe
a,
I won.
I believe you have.
You
yes.
won before then.
Suck my dick, bitch.
You didn't win the last game, though. That's all that matters.
And neither did you.
Yeah, that's right. Get him beat you. I tied you, bitch.
But I didn't lose.
Is it the rise of Hitler and fascism?
No.
Okay.
And I thought about putting that on, but my thinking was it was snuffed out so quickly
Yeah.
that it didn't deserve a place in the top 10.
I mean, it does change so much, and like
Yes.
obviously. Oh, is it the Pax Americana?
No.
Okay.
No, that doesn't do much.
That's huge. But
Yeah.
Doesn't do
That's
much.
kind of like the
Compared to
overall.
everything
It's the
else.
American century,
Yeah.
for Christ's
Mhm.
sake. This is it's in the realm of economics.
Oh, Federal Reserve?
No.
Income tax?
No.
Fucking bastards.
Economics.
Yeah. It's a big one.
I
The minting of the dollar.
No.
I need some sort
Yeah,
of
I don't know
hint.
what's
It's in the first half of the century. It is
Okay.
a long period of time.
A long
I'm
period.
handing it to you on a silver platter
the
here,
Great
guys.
Depression.
There you go. the
Ah,
Great
okay.
Depression. Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And all the things that come attached to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
FDR.
Right.
Was that so? Because I don't know fully.
It is a global
It's global.
economic downturn. Yeah.
How is it
Like
the West?
without the Great Depression, you don't have Nazism. You
Yeah.
don't have Italian fascism.
Communism.
Right.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Soviets don't like
Makes sense.
the rise of communism all over the world
Mhm.
and different theories on how to deal with the Great
The
Depression.
bottom line is when there's mass inflation and mass hunger, you get
Bad
wacky
things.
ideologies that
Yeah.
fucking that arise. You know?
Right.
Okay.
People get hungry, people start dying.
Yep.
Yep. That's a pretty good list.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Solid.
I'm glad you guys like that.
Yeah.
All right. And that'll put the fucking kibosh on this episode.
When not yet. When are we gonna talk about the cotton gin? Is that for
He
the
just
is that
wants
for
to
the
speak.
15th
when we
century
do
list?
that's the 18th.
Charlemagne
it's the
invented
1800s.
the cotton gin.
Charlemagne did not invent. And
I'm
he's-
just a I'm
oh
just
my
a
God,
big,
you're all over the place.
just
My head's gonna explode from the inaccuracy.
I'm just a big stupid idiot. I don't know what's going on.
He doesn't know what decolonization is.
So it's the time of the episode where we pick our next movies that we're gonna watch.
All
Did
right.
Charlemagne invent champagne?
No.
Charlemagne was the god.
No.
THAGOD.
It's the father of Europe.
Do you think Charlemagne the god knows who like the real Charlemagne is?
You have to, right? If
Or
you
you just-
name
I
yourself
Well,
think
he's
as
the
I
one.
grandfather of hip hop.
He's a rapper. Wow.
It just keels over and dies.
I'm rolling with monks. I'm here to convert
gosh.
you heathen punks. That's my Charlemagne.
Loved it.
I mean,
Thank you.
Brian's the Holy Roman rapper.
quoted it. Perfect. Lyric for lyric.
Yep. Okay, so it's movie time. Steve, you went first last time, right?
I did go first, yeah. So, who went
Tony,
last?
you could go
Yeah,
first.
you can go.
Okay.
By the way, I've decided I'm only calling you Tony at the end of episodes. You're Anthony
Big
until the
T.
end
Then
because
I'm-
I did this last time
yes.
too.
Now I'm Tony.
Yeah.
I saw this movie that I picked when it came out back in 2007,
Okay.
and I thought it was boring as shit. And I've ever since wanted to revisit it because it's on a topic I am very interested in. I love hearing about and watching stuff about. I picked the HBO Films movie, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, which is about the Wounded Knee Massacre with Sitting Bull and the Sioux.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, you ever see it?
Interesting.
I never saw it. No.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
I thought when you said HBO film, you were going to do and starring Pancho Villa. As
That's another
himself.
good one. I thought about that too.
I like that one. So,
Do you want to do yours?
I'll go second. Okay. I'm torn between a couple,
Yeah, pick one.
but I think I'm going to mix it up a bit, and I am going to pick a sports movie. I'm going to pick a movie I've never seen called 42, which is about Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in baseball.
When did that come out?
That came out a couple of years ago, and Harrison Ford is in it, and Chadwick Boseman, who is now passed away, who was the Black Panther, he was in it as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've never seen
Did
it.
you ever see Pride of the Yankees?
No.
The Lou Gehrig movie?
Yeah, no, I never saw that.
I hear that's good.
I would watch it.
Okay.
Steven?
So I got also a change of pace here.
Okay.
Since
We got to get back to wars.
Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I never heard of it.
Mhm.
I've heard the name, but I don't know the...
Marlon Brando
Oh.
met his wife on the set of this.
Oh, I thought you were about to say I met his wife. Like you met
He
Brandon's
knew
wife.
her
Yeah.
in the biblical sense.
Am I the Lord now?
That's cool.
Yeah, it's about a true story, so
The
it's
HMS
gonna be,
Bounty.
It's gonna be fun.
Awesome.
Mhm.
I'm excited. I think we got a nice, diverse thing of picks.
We're very diverse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a buzzword these days. You want that in your corporate meetings.
Yes.
Mhm.
People are
All about
giving us money now.
diversity.
Okay. So, it's time to wrap this up. Let's say goodbye.
Goodbye, John.
So, I know they don't want to plug anything. Please follow me on Twitter at Brian Rupert. That's Brian Rupert with 2 P's. You could send us an email at reviewinghistorypod@gmail.com. You could also follow me on Letterboxd, where I will be ranking every single movie that we watch. I also review every single movie I watch in my personal life. So if you're interested in my thoughts on any given movie, you could probably find it there if I've seen it within the past 2 years. So I'm Brian Rupert on all social media, and thank you for joining us on this episode. And again, we have to give a big thank you to Tell 'em Steve Dave for letting us record down in beautiful Tell 'em Steve Dave Studios, TSD Studios down in Hazlet, New Jersey. Come on down, visit them, buy some merch, say hi to get them. Subscribe to the TESD Patreon. I do some work there behind the scenes. And that's it for this episode. Thank you for joining us. Take care and bye.